Yesterday was my first day, so I'm feeling great. Just getting used to the new atmosphere and getting to know all the girls. But for the most part, I'm pretty good. Day 2 today, so very excited to see how it goes.
Yeah, I think it's been a great experience. Coaching staff is looking, to make this team a winning program, so we're very excited for that. The girls are ready to go. I love that. I love the culture we're creating. I think it's something special, and I think it's a message we really want to spread to across the nation about like this is what volleyball as a team should look like. And I think the work we're putting in on and off the court and just the relationships we're building with everybody is what's going to take. So we're very excited. Well, I mean, I think just, like how often can we get better and how often can we connect? I think just that's the biggest thing with training camp is I think the quicker you connect with, either with whether it's an offense or a defensive component, like the quicker you adjust, the better. But I think overall, just like letting volleyball show yourself, like, just being confident in your ability and showing it to the team and, why you're here, what's your purpose for being here. So I think everyone day by day is kind of getting out of their shell a little bit, including myself. So this team is, we're ready. So we're excited.
I think my goal coming into training camp this year was just to come in and work hard and create lasting relationships with these girls. I think it's a great opportunity that I get to come into this gym and meet so many great volleyball players, but most importantly, great people. And I'm just really excited to build relationships with them and just show up every day and work hard. But that's really just the goal I've had for this training camp, and just to enjoy every moment and just be grateful for the opportunity that I got.
They're all positive, don't worry. I'm just trying to think of a really good one. I think the number one that comes to my mind, even though I just looked up at the ceiling, I saw it, but I was thinking it. I think grit. A lot of these girls, they come from very high competitive programs, whether it's other professional leagues they played in the past or even just in college. All these girls, they have that grit to win, and they have that, it's almost like a sense of urgency. Like we know we're here to compete. We know we want to, kind of have a better outcome than last season. Even though we did make a lot of historical runs throughout it, but it's like, what more can we do after that? But everyone is, putting their head down and getting to work, and I think that's just to go back a lot of grit. So it takes a lot of that too.
Oh, okay. I should have thought about this when you were answering the question. More on the ceiling.
I know, I'm looking at it like, I was thinking that too, and I'm like, do I say it?
I could use that one. I would say I watched a good amount of games last year just because it was a new league and I just thought it was really fun to watch. And I think one thing I saw from this team from last year and just actually being able to practice with them, I would use the word like determination or determined. I think that I can just see that every girl is like so determined to get better every day and does everything to like the best of their ability. And so I think that's just what I've seen just being in the gym one day. Yesterday was like a lighter day of serve and pass, but even just doing that, everybody was so determined to fix every little thing when they didn't like it. And Kacie and I were partners, and like she was constantly being like, oh, how can I make that better? How can I do this better? So it was just like a very determined mindset to get better every single rep, every single touch.
Yeah, I think, first year, you're going to have, your bumps in the road. You're going to have, a few things. It's like, hey, like maybe for next season, like for the league getting bigger, like what can training camp look like more? What more do we need? Are the players, recovering that they need to be? Are they actually getting efficient practice time in? These are questions that we always like to reflect from, years behind. And I think I think last year, just from my perspective as a rookie and also just being in for a first year, like I was definitely more like out of my comfort zone. Like I just wanted to make sure like I was still connecting with my teammates, but I think just more, like we're also in a closer density now. Like we're actually doing stuff all in one place, which is awesome. And I think just overall, going into after first year pro, like I feel definitely a little bit more of like I want to be that mature leader and just like have that, kind of be there for people and have that, because of that experience now that I had the first year, like I want to be able to, be the one to be like, hey, like let's do this instead, or develop those off the court relationships. So I think just kind of getting more out of my comfort zone a little bit. I think a lot of people that did play in the league last year kind of have that extra step up now because we all got to play in it. So I think just being able to be comfortable with the uncomfortable as well. So and that's very hard to do. But I think just as the days go by, as more of the relationships start to get closer together, I think that's what makes it more special. So. Yeah, I'll just say that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think my transition was definitely pretty quick. I got the call from Coach Kayla, and we talked about me coming to training camp, and then about a week later, I was packing up my stuff and coming down here. So the transition was pretty fast, going from college to professional. But I think the most important part for me was that the girls were really helpful with me, and they were very willing to reach out to me if I had any questions. And the first night I got here, everybody came to where they were living, and we ate dinner, we made some cookies, we played some crazy games of Uno. That got very intense. So I think it was just, they made the transition a lot easier for me in that aspect, just because I'm new, I'm younger, it's my first day, so I'm just very grateful for that. But I think it's definitely a higher level of play in this gym, and I think that's something that I'll have to rise to the occasion to, and I'm very excited to do that. But yeah, I think the transition is just going to keep getting easier, hopefully. But I mean, it's a little scary at first and a little nerve-wracking and a little bit of butterflies on the first day. But first day was good, so I'm just excited to see what's to come. No, not at all, actually. No, I never really thought about it, and my coaches had talked to me about playing professionally, and I was like, I just don't think that's for me. And then I don't know what changed, but it was like a week-long decision between me and my coach, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to go for it. I'm just going to go all in and see what can happen. So I think it was more of just I got nothing to lose, I'm young, and might as well try now. I am, yes, very.
I talked about this the other day at one of the club visitations. I think just trusting your ability. You got to a certain point for a reason. There may be a skill or a certain technical or like technicality you do that probably outlies the rest, and I think that you should just thrive off of that. And I think obviously now there's always room for improvement for the others, but for the sole reason you got there because you were good at a certain ability in the game of volleyball. And I think the more you put in the work for the others, like it's going to come through. But trust yourself that you can make those changes, and trust the people around you that are giving you the space to have that improvement, and also they trust your ability as well. So might as well tell yourself to trust yourself too. So that was a big component for me.
And kind of going off what she said, I think my biggest piece of advice would be it's okay to make mistakes. I think growing up in the volleyball world, you kind of learn throughout your years that volleyball is a game of mistakes, and that you have to learn through those mistakes, and that's going to make you better at the end of the day. And knowing that it's okay to make mistakes in practice and in games, because if you're going for it, you're going to get better through that. So just reminding the young girls out there that it's okay to mess up and not to be too hard on yourself, because it's not the end of the world.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
Okay, I have one more question
Okay.
for you, Kacie.
Oh, Jesus.
This is a lighthearted
Okay.
one. With your UGA Dogs going to the 12-team playoff this year, and your brother also going to be in the 12-team playoff, what are your thoughts on all of that?
Considering that if Notre Dame happens to be Indiana, it could happen. Definitely there's been a couple talks in the house already. But in the end, like, he's family. And I know George has been my family for 5 years, but Mitchell's been family for 21. So I'm always going to root for him, and however he performs, just know that he's still human, and he's my little brother, even though he's 6'5". But no, it's just continuing his legacy and see what more he can bring to the table. I think he's hasn't reached his full potential yet. I know this college football playoff, it's a big change for everybody, but for him, he's going to show how elite he really is, and